Hello, David Casino again. In today's episode, we're going to tap into something called prompt engineering. A prompt is just a question, and the higher quality question you ask when you're interfacing with a large language model, the higher quality response you're likely to get. We're going to use prompt engineering to improve the search experience in our app BrainDump. Let's jump right in.
Let's get into some prompt engineering. So I have a cursor loaded here, I've got my simulator, and currently when I use the search button, it's using a prompt that Cursor generated earlier to talk to OpenAI to get a response. So if I say, who did I meet at the basketball tournament? It's going to send that question, and it says, based on the provided thoughts, you met Tom Smith at the basketball tournament. So where is that coming from? Now, I remember from the last episode, we added a prompt using Cursor to OpenAI service, and you can see it here in this variable, and it's a very short prompt. We say to OpenAI, here are my recent thoughts and ideas. We send those thoughts, which are all of our brain dumps that we've currently recorded, and then it says, based on these thoughts, please answer the following question. And the question is whatever I inputted with my voice, which was, who did I meet at the basketball tournament? So this is the prompt. It's just this long string of words and the brain dumps that we sent. But we're not limited to just this very basic prompt. We can expand upon this. So, for example, I can add something to the end here. I can say, please be verbose, or please answer in 4 paragraphs of text. So we're asking it to really give us a lot of information back. And I'm going to save that. I'll refresh my simulator. So if I come back here, let's ask that same question. Who did I meet at the basketball tournament? So the same question, but now that the prompt has changed, let's see if we get a different response. And so it's thinking a little bit longer this time. There you go. So we get all of this information. And because my question was a very specific one, this might not make sense in this example. However, it's important to clarify that while you met Tom Smith at the basketball tournament and learned about his team affiliation with Bill, there may not have been detailed information. So it's just trying to fill the space with as much speculation as it can. It even has an in conclusion section here. So this shows you some of the power of prompt engineering. You can coax OpenAI to give you a short or a long response. Now, what would be really interesting is if you could have, let's say, a toggle button where the user could control how verbose the answer is. So if ChatGPT tends to kind of ramble on and on, it would be nice if the user could control the length of the response that they get. So let's go ahead and add that. So I'm going to remove this here, where we're telling it to provide 4 paragraphs of text. And I'm going to add main.dart. So these are the 2 files that we care about. And I'll say, let's add a toggle button to the search interface. It should have 3 options. We'll say short, medium, and long. Based on what the user selects, we want to add information to our prompt when sending a question to OpenAI. All right, so it's thinking. I'll add a toggle button with 3 options. We'll modify the ask question method. This looks great. So I'm going to hit apply on main.dart, and it's defaulting to medium. Okay. And if I use these arrows, here we go. The response length. Okay, it's got 3 options. That looks good. Oh, and it's passing in the selected length. Okay, so let's accept. This might not work because we haven't changed OpenAI service to accept this new argument. So we're going to scroll down. It's probably going to ask us to change that. And sure enough, there's some changes to OpenAI service. So I'm going to click apply, and it opens that. Oh, and perfect. It added a new option. So you can pass in the response length. And then it says, please provide a short, medium, or long response. Okay, so this seems pretty sensible. We could probably tune this further, but this should get us started. So I'm going to refresh the app. Okay. And if we go over to the search interface, we have this nice toggle button here. So let's put it on long, and we'll ask it, please summarize some of my app ideas. Okay, it's sending the request to OpenAI. And sure enough, it gave us a pretty long response. And it has my actual ideas here. An app for running basketball clinics, an app for large gym, an app called Hive for music, and then it has a little bit of extra text there. All right, so let's try the same thing with the short toggle button. Please summarize all of my app ideas. Okay, so this is much shorter than the other one. It gave me a bulleted list, and it kept it a lot more concise. So we can improve upon this even more. Let's say, for example, if we want a short response, it'll just do 1 paragraph. A medium response, it'll do 2, and a long will do 4. So I'm going to ask a follow-up question here in Cursor. For short replies, let's update the prompt to ask for 1 paragraph, 2 for medium, and 4 is a little crazy. Let's just do 3 for long. Okay, let's see if it can make some adjustments there. Okay, so it's just updating OpenAI service, and I'll hit apply so we can see the changes. Okay, great. So this is nice. So it's looking at the length, and it's saying the response length should be 1 for short, 2 for medium, otherwise give me back 3. And then it changed the prompt to say, please provide a response in 1, 2, or 3 paragraphs. So we'll hit accept, and we'll see if this works. So all we're doing is really changing the prompt that we're sending to OpenAI, but we're getting back a much different answer. So I'm going to come back here, I'm going to refresh, go back to my search interface. Please summarize all of my app ideas. So this is on the medium setting, and I get 2 paragraphs. Okay, let's try short. Please summarize all of my app ideas. Oh, so it missed the keyword app, but we'll just see if the response is proper. Yeah, so for short, we got 1 paragraph back. And there you go. We've now successfully done some prompt engineering. Now, one thing I was thinking about for an additional feature is, what if we could show the brain dumps that OpenAI recognized as being relevant? So let's say you have 1,000 brain dumps, you've been using the app for a year, and you have 3 ideas a day, and it's really starting to grow that list. It would be cool to be able to see, okay, well, it answered this question, but which of those 1,000 brain dumps was it referring to? Which ones did it use to actually generate this response? So that way you get some confidence that it's working, and you can look at these specific brain dumps and the date and time that you added them, and just sort of see the whole picture. This will sort of give us some insight into how OpenAI is generating these responses. So this is going to be a good amount of work, so let's buckle up for this. I'm going to save this. This is pretty good. So I'm just going to commit my changes. Hit Git status. You can see it's changed these 2 files. So I'm going to say git commit Added prompt length or response length. Option. Push that up to Git. Okay, so let's go ahead and start a new chat. And we're going to add main, we're going to add OpenAI. Those are the two main files we care about. And say, I want to receive the output or the response from OpenAI as a JSON formatted text string. I only want to receive the JSON and no additional text or formatting. How might I do this? Okay, to receive the response from OpenAI as JSON formatted text, it's just going to update the prompt. So really all we're doing now is iterating over the prompt and making these tweaks, seeing what comes back, making these tweaks, see what comes back. So I'll hit apply, and it just added this little thing here. It says, format your response as a valid JSON string with the following structure. Okay, great. Oh, but I forgot to ask it one thing. It is putting the response inside of this JSON, but I also wanted to add another field that has which brain dumps it specifically referenced. So I'm going to click yes, and I'm going to say, this looks great. I also want to ask OpenAI to return the list of brain dumps that it referenced, that it used to generate the response. Okay, let's see what that does. So it's going to modify the prompt again. It's still generating it. Okay, I'm going to hit accept. And let's see what it does. Oh, I'm going to hit apply. Please include a list of the specific thoughts you use to generate your response. Okay, so this is kind of what I want. I don't know if this will work perfectly, but we can at least see that it added a new field for used thoughts. Okay, I'm going to click accept. I'm going to save it. Now, the JSON is just going to kind of display on the screen, and you'll see what that looks like. Let's go back to our original question here. Who did I meet at the basketball tournament? Okay, wow, we got JSON back. So here's the response. Based on the thoughts you shared, you met a person named Tom Smith at the basketball tournament. And then here we go. Used thoughts has the timestamp, and it has the brain dump that I originally entered. So it's giving us sort of insight into like, okay, I gave you 1,000, in our case maybe 13 or 10 brain dumps, but this was the one that mattered, and this is the one that I used to generate the response. This is awesome. So now that we have JSON, we can extract those fields and we can have two different displays. So on the top, we can put what OpenAI's response was, but then we can show a list of which brain dumps it referenced specifically to generate this response. So let's just keep the same chat window because it's in the same spirit. Okay, this worked. Now let's take the JSON returned from OpenAI and create a new user interface component that lists the thoughts referenced below the response we received. All right, let's see if you can handle this, because I'm being a little general, but sometimes it can interpret and come up with a good solution. So this time it's going to change main.dart, because that's where the user interface is. We've got the JSON coming back the way we want it. So I'm going to click apply, And now it's changing main.dart. Okay, so it's added a new column and it has the reference thoughts there. And I wonder, it looks like it might not be displaying. Oh no, it has the AI response. Okay, let's just see what it does. So I'm going to click accept. And I got a compilation error, it looks like. See how this is red? So let's see what the issue might be. Oh, okay. Undefined name used thoughts. So this doesn't seem to have access to that. So used thoughts is not being found. And I don't see it anywhere. So I'm going to just tell the AI I missed something. I'm getting a syntax issue that used thoughts isn't defined. Let's see if it can fix this. I apologize for the oversight. It seems I missed including the used thoughts variable in the earlier code. Let's fix that. So it's going to properly define it. Okay, it's still generating. We gave it a hard one, and we're going to click apply. And now we have an empty array on the top. That looks good. So I'm just going to accept that one line. Then we're going to come down here. Okay. So it's going to set the state. That looks good. Go to the next change. Okay, so now when it's getting the response back from OpenAI, it's decoding the JSON and it's setting that variable. So this looks good. Let's see if it works. Please summarize all of my app ideas. All right, it's thinking, it's sending it. There you go. This is awesome. So we get our response here on the top. This is sort of the summary of what it processed. And then it shows all the thoughts that were referenced. I want to build an app for basketball clinics. I want to build an app for people that run large gyms. And I just had a new app idea for music. So there you go. So through just using prompt engineering and a little UI adjustment, we've added a really cool feature to our app. We're getting the ability to say short, medium, or long responses, so the actual text is manageable. And then we also are able to show the thoughts that the AI referenced when it was generating its response.
We've added the ability to capture brain dumps, search and process them using AI, but we have no way to delete brain dumps right now. We're going to tackle that in the next episode.